Hello. If you're anything like me, you're well aware that the A-Team, which aired from 1983 to 1987, is without a doubt one of the most exceptional TV series of all time. This action-packed show, famous for its daring missions, explosive stunts, with surprisingly few actual deaths, and unforgettable characters, captured the hearts of millions. So today, I thought it would be fun if you pulled up a chair by the campfire and watched it again with the entire cast, both then and now. I will tell you about the original names and ages of the actors and how their lives have unfolded up to 2023. Okay, let's see it together. Dwight Schultz brought chaotic genius to his role as Captain H.M. Halamad Murdoch, the team's eccentric and often mentally unstable pilot. In 1983, when filming began, he was 36 years old. Schultz's brilliant portrayal made Murdoch a fan favorite, providing much of the show's comedic relief with his bizarre antics and imaginary friends. As of 2023, he's living out life happily at the age of 75, still active in voice acting for animated series and video games.
You and I can watch the walls melt.
Hannibal!
Lay off, will you, Murdoch?
Dials are really good. What does that mean?
The dials are, they test the show, and
George Peppard commanded the screen as the cigar-chomping, master strategist, Colonel John Hannibal Smith, the leader of the A-Team. In 1983, when filming began, he was 55 years old. Peppard's cool demeanor and iconic catchphrase, "I love it when a plan comes together," made Hannibal an enduring television legend. Sadly, on May 8, 1994, still battling lung cancer, Peppard died from pneumonia in Los Angeles at the age of 65. His powerful presence is deeply missed.
Right up here. I ain't going to no airport, Hannibal. I ain't gonna fly with that crazy fool Murdoch.
Indeed, I was watching very carefully, and there were temptations when you were getting to the...
Dirk Benedict charmed audiences as the suave and resourceful con artist, Lieutenant Templeton Faceman Peck, in the series. In 1983, when filming began, he was 38 years old. Benedict's portrayal of the team's smooth operator, who could acquire anything through his charm and cunning, made him a heartthrob and a vital part of the team's success. As of 2023, he's living out life happily at the age of 78, still celebrated for his iconic role.
Guys, it was directed by guys, acted by guys. It was about what guys do. We talked the way guys...
Lance Legault played the relentless and unyielding military police colonel, Colonel Roderick Decker, who was determined to capture the A-Team. In 1983, when filming began, he was 48 years old. Legault's gruff demeanor and unwavering pursuit of the team provided a constant source of tension and a formidable antagonist for several seasons. Sadly, Legault died from heart failure on Monday, September 10, 2012, at his home in Los Angeles, at the age of 77. His memorable presence as the team's nemesis is well remembered.
And any possibility of furthering my rank.
William Lucking played the original persistent military police officer, Colonel Lynch, who was hot on the A-Team's trail in the very first season. In 1983, when filming began, he was 42 years old. Lucking's character set the tone for the cat-and-mouse chase that defined much of the series' early premise. Sadly, Lucking died at his home in Las Vegas, Nevada, on October 18, 2021, at the age of 80. He was a prolific character actor, often seen in tough guy roles.
Excuse me, we're looking for an actor named Lynch.
His real name is John Smith. He's using...
Tia Carrere had an early appearance as Tia, a young woman the A-Team helps in one of their missions. In 1983, when filming began, she was 19 years old. While a smaller role, it marked one of Carrere's early steps into what would become a successful acting career, known for her roles in films like Wayne's World. As of 2023, she's living out life happily at the age of 55, having built a recognizable career in Hollywood. Jack Jing played the character General Harlan Bull Fulbright, a persistent and morally ambiguous military general who, like Decker, pursued the A-Team, but later sought their help. In 1983, when filming began, he was 52 years old. Jing's portrayal added depth to the recurring antagonist roles, demonstrating how the lines between hero and villain could sometimes blur. Jack Jing died of natural causes at his home in La Quinta, California, on September 9, 2022, at the age of 90. He was a veteran character actor known for his numerous television appearances.
I got shot in the back.
But you must have thought to yourself at the time, how really?
Oh, God, and some of them learn how to die. It takes them 15 minutes.
Mr. T became a cultural phenomenon, playing the iconic muscle-bound enforcer, Sergeant Bosco B.A. Baracus in the series. In 1983, when filming began, he was 31 years old. Mr. T's signature gold chains, mohawk, and fear of flying, and his catchphrase, "I pity the fool," made B.A. an unforgettable and beloved character, whose strength and surprising compassion were central to the team. As of 2023, he's living out life happily at the age of 70, continuing to be an inspirational figure.
What you doing, sucker?
I think I'll get out for a minute.
In about many years, way back when Ronald Reagan was the president, I fell in love with you.
Marla Heasley played the character Tanya Baker, a journalist who temporarily replaced Amy Allen on the A-Team. In 1983, though she joined later, she was 24 years old. Heasley's character brought a brief, new energy to the team's dynamic, although her tenure on the show was relatively short. As of 2023, she's living out life happily at the age of 63.
Elvis Smith, right? Face man.
Serious?
Oh, he was very serious. He was really serious. He said, when you're finished with your...
Robert Vaughn joined the cast in the final season as General Hunt Stockwell, a mysterious and powerful figure who forces the A-Team to work on government missions. In 1983, though he joined the show later, in 1986, he was 54 years old. Vaughn's sophisticated yet imposing presence added a new dynamic, shifting the team's narrative from fugitives to reluctant government operatives. Sadly, Vaughn died in a hospice in Danbury, Connecticut, on November 11, 2016, 11 days before his 84th birthday. After a year-long treatment for leukemia, he was a distinguished actor with a storied career.
Money, and if the show goes on, then we'll have another couple of years. Well, the show didn't go on.
Melinda Cooley played the intrepid journalist, Amy Amanda Allen, who helps the A-Team in their early missions and acts as their initial contact with the outside world. In 1983, when filming began, she was 28 years old. Cooley's character provided a crucial civilian perspective and a female presence within the male-dominated team. As of 2023, she's living out life happily at the age of 67, having continued her career in acting and writing. The A-Team, which originally aired from 1983 to 1987, burst onto television screens with an explosive premise that immediately captivated audiences worldwide. It followed the adventures of 4 former members of a U.S. Army Special Forces unit, falsely accused of robbing the Bank of Hanoi during the Vietnam War. Escaping from a military prison, they became soldiers of fortune, living underground while offering their unique blend of military prowess, cunning, and sheer bravado to help innocent people in distress. They operated on the fringes of society, constantly evading the military police, most notably Colonel Decker and General Fulbright, while upholding a strict moral code. They never killed anyone, and their targets were invariably corrupt individuals or oppressive organizations. This simple yet compelling setup allowed for a versatile episodic structure. Each week, the team would be hired by desperate individuals, infiltrate a problematic situation, devise an elaborate plan, often involving the creative repurposing of ordinary objects into extraordinary vehicles or weapons, execute it with signature flair, and leave their adversaries defeated but usually unharmed amidst a flurry of explosions and flying debris. The show's unique blend of action, humor, and a strong sense of justice cemented its place in 1980s pop culture, turning its cast into global superstars and its catchphrases into common parlance. At the helm of the A-Team was Colonel John Hannibal Smith, portrayed with inimitable panache by George Peppard. Hannibal was the team's undisputed leader, a master of disguise, and a brilliant tactician whose catchphrase, "I love it when a plan comes together," became synonymous with the show's triumphant conclusions. What made Hannibal so appealing was his intellectual superiority, his unwavering confidence, and his theatrical flair. Hannibal was not just a military mind. He was an artist of deception. His disguises were often outrageous, yet surprisingly effective, allowing him to infiltrate enemy strongholds or gather crucial information with ease. From a Chinese laundryman to a grizzled old fisherman, a flamboyant Hollywood director, or even an elderly woman, Hannibal embraced each role with a detached amusement, often finding genuine joy in the elaborate charades he orchestrated. This aspect of his character added a layer of lightheartedness to the otherwise serious stakes of their missions. His strategic brilliance was the cornerstone of the team's success. Hannibal possessed an almost supernatural ability to size up any situation, identify its weaknesses, and formulate a seemingly impossible plan to achieve their objectives. Even when things went awry, which they frequently did, especially thanks to B.A.'s aversion to flying or Murdoch's unpredictable antics, Hannibal remained calm and collected, improvising on the fly with a twinkle in his eye, always believing that the team would pull through. He was a leader who inspired absolute loyalty and trust, not through force, but through his demonstrated competence and his deep care for his team. His plans were always intricate, often involving psychological warfare and a heavy dose of misdirection, leaving adversaries utterly bewildered. The audience was always in on the secret, watching with delight as Hannibal's intricate schemes unfolded, piece by calculated piece, leading to the inevitable moment when the pieces clicked into place and he would utter his famous line. His cigar-chomping, knowing smile, and calm demeanor in the face of chaos were definitive traits that made him the quintessential leader. Beyond the bravado, Hannibal also possessed a strong moral compass. He meticulously vetted potential clients, ensuring the A-Team only aided those truly deserving and innocent, never for personal gain or to inflict unnecessary harm. His adherence to their no-kill policy, even in the most dangerous situations, further solidified his character as a noble warrior. He was a man who lived by a code, a fugitive who was more righteous than many in authority, and this ethical backbone resonated deeply with viewers. Dirk Benedict's portrayal of Lieutenant Templeton Face Peck, often shortened to Face Man, brought a crucial element of suave charm and resourceful cunning to the team. Face was the team's con artist, the master of acquisition, capable of charming his way into or out of almost any situation. He could procure anything, from a fully stocked warehouse to a private jet, with seemingly effortless grace, often relying on his good looks, persuasive speech, and a genuine knack for improvisation. Face was the team's negotiator, the one who would sweet-talk clients, distract guards, or pose as various professionals to gain access to restricted areas. His appeals often involved exaggerated stories or feigned helplessness, all delivered with a winning smile and an air of confidence that bordered on arrogance, yet was somehow endearing. He was the most fashion-conscious of the group, always impeccably dressed even when on the run, a stark contrast to B.A.'s utilitarian attire or Murdoch's eclectic outfits. While seemingly superficial, Face was far more than just a pretty face. He possessed an acute understanding of human psychology, knowing how to read people and manipulate situations to the team's advantage. He often used his charm to disarm potential threats, gain trust, or simply distract long enough for the rest of the team to execute their part of the plan. He was also surprisingly adept in combat when necessary, demonstrating that beneath the sophisticated exterior lay a capable soldier. His underlying vulnerability, particularly in his attempts to find love or a sense of belonging, added depth to his character, preventing him from becoming a one-dimensional playboy. He craved the finer things in life, but always put the team's mission and safety first. His resourcefulness was truly a spectacle. Watching Face pull off seemingly impossible feats of procurement was a consistent highlight of the show, proving that sometimes charm and wit are the most powerful weapons. Dwight Schultz's Captain H.M. Hallamad, Murdoch was arguably the most eccentric and beloved character on the A-Team. Officially confined to a Veterans Administration psychiatric hospital, Murdoch was the team's pilot, a genius in the cockpit, but seemingly delusional on the ground. His madness was a constant source of humor and unpredictability, yet also often provided unexpected solutions or diversions crucial to the team's success. Murdoch's appeal lay in his childlike innocence, his boundless imagination, and his unshakable loyalty to his friends. His hallucinations range from talking inanimate objects, like his invisible dog, Billy, or his sock puppet, Sammy, to elaborate fantasies that often bordered on performance art. He would adopt various personas, sometimes a famous actor, other times a bizarre adventurer, all with a straight face and complete commitment. This theatricality made him incredibly entertaining to watch, as viewers never knew what bizarre pronouncement or action he would take next. Despite his perceived mental instability, Murdoch was incredibly intelligent and highly skilled, particularly as a pilot. Whether flying a helicopter, a cargo plane, or even a hijacked commercial jet, he was always in control, demonstrating a clarity of mind that contradicted his land-based eccentricities. His madness often served a purpose, acting as a convenient cover or a means to confuse their adversaries. The team, particularly Hannibal, understood Murdoch's unique genius and treated his quirks with a mixture of exasperated affection and genuine respect. B.A.'s constant exasperation and occasional violence towards Murdoch formed one of the show's most enduring comedic pairings, a testament to their love-hate brotherly bond. Beneath the howlin' mad exterior, Murdoch was deeply caring, fiercely loyal to his friends, and often showed moments of profound insight that cut through the team's more grounded perspectives. He was the heart of the team in many ways, providing levity and a reminder of the human spirit's resilience. Mr. T's portrayal of Sergeant First Class Bosco Albert B.A. Baracus, often referred to simply as B.A. or Bad Attitude, made him an instant icon. B.A. was the team's muscle, their mechanic, and their resident tough guy, known for his imposing physique, his signature mohawk haircut, and his gold chains. His catchphrase, "I pity the fool," became a global phenomenon. B.A.'s appeal was multifaceted. On one hand, he was the embodiment of raw power and intimidation. He could single-handedly take on multiple opponents, bend metal with his bare hands, and fix any vehicle, no matter how dilapidated, into a fully functional and often weaponized machine. He was fiercely protective of his friends and the innocent people they helped, and his anger was a force to be reckoned with. When B.A. got genuinely mad, usually at injustice or Murdoch's antics, the audience knew serious business was about to go down. On the other hand, B.A. also had a surprising soft side. He loved children, had a genuine fear of flying, which was a constant source of comedic torture for him, as Murdoch would invariably be the one to pilot them, and was incredibly protective of the innocent. His gruff exterior often masked a deep sense of compassion. The dynamic between B.A. and Murdoch was one of the show's most beloved elements. B.A.'s constant threats and occasional physical confrontations with Murdoch, usually involving tranquilizers to get B.A. onto a plane, were always played for laughs, highlighting their unique and often hilarious friendship. B.A.'s mechanical genius was crucial to the team's operations, as he could transform broken-down vans, tractors, or school buses into formidable armored vehicles, often within a montage set to the show's iconic theme music. He represented the blue-collar ingenuity and unwavering strength that underpinned the team's ability to get the job done. His moral code was as rigid as Hannibal's, and he had no patience for bullies or injustice, making him a righteous, albeit formidable, force. The true genius of the A-Team lay not just in its individual characters, but in the synergy they created as a unit. Each member brought a distinct skill set and personality trait that was indispensable to the team's operations. Hannibal, the brains, the leader, the planner, the master of disguise. Face, the charm, the negotiator, the procurer, the master of social manipulation. Murdoch, the pilot, the wild card, the unpredictable element that could either derail or spectacularly save a mission. B.A., the muscle, the mechanic, the intimidating presence, the protector. Their interactions were a constant source of both conflict and camaraderie. B.A. and Murdoch's love-hate relationship was legendary, providing countless comedic moments. Face and Hannibal often worked together on elaborate cons, while all four relied on each other implicitly when the bullets started flying. Despite their frequent disagreements and contrasting personalities, there was an undeniable bond of brotherhood and loyalty that underpinned their every action. They were a family forged in the fires of war and life on the run, united by a shared sense of injustice and a commitment to helping others. This strong sense of team, of knowing that they always had each other's backs, was deeply appealing to audiences and contributed significantly to the show's feel-good nature. The show rarely delved into the specifics of their false accusation, keeping the focus squarely on their current missions. This allowed the narrative to remain light and adventure-driven, rather than bogged down by legal complexities or existential angst. The weekly formula, while sometimes predictable, was also comforting. Viewers knew they would get a compelling problem, an ingenious plan, plenty of explosions, with surprisingly little actual damage to life and limb, and a satisfying resolution. This reliability made the A-Team appointment viewing for millions. The A-Team was more than just a popular TV show. It was a cultural phenomenon of the 1980s. It embodied the decade's fascination with action heroes, big explosions, and charismatic personalities. Its distinct visual style, iconic theme music, and memorable catchphrases permeated popular culture. The show offered a unique portrayal of Vietnam veterans. While many media depictions of the era focused on the trauma and difficulties faced by returning soldiers, the A-Team presented them as highly skilled, honorable, and effective individuals. Albeit unfairly outcast, they were heroes in their own right, using their military training for good, providing a more positive image of veterans in the public consciousness, even if their methods were unconventional. Furthermore, the show's no-kill policy was remarkably progressive for an action series. Despite the constant gunfire and spectacular crashes, no one ever seemed to get seriously hurt or killed. This cartoonish violence, often referred to as Looney Tunes violence, allowed the show to maintain a family-friendly appeal while still delivering exciting action sequences. It was a testament to the idea that heroes didn't need to kill to win, relying instead on cunning, elaborate traps, and overwhelming force to disarm their opponents. This commitment to non-lethal solutions made the A-Team accessible to a broader audience and perhaps contributed to its long-term appeal. The A-Team also paved the way for other ensemble action shows and solidified the careers of its main actors. Mr. T, in particular, became an international sensation, his image synonymous with the show's brand of tough, but ultimately benevolent heroism. The show's influence can still be seen in action comedies and buddy cop narratives, with its emphasis on character chemistry and ingenious problem-solving. As we celebrate the enduring appeal of the A-Team, it's important to acknowledge the incredible talent that brought these characters to life. Sadly, some of the actors who made the show so special are no longer with us, but their performances continue to live on in the hearts of fans worldwide. George Peppard, Colonel John Hannibal Smith George Peppard, who passed away in 1994 at the age of 65, was the seasoned veteran of the cast, having already achieved success in films like Breakfast at Tiffany's. His portrayal of Hannibal was masterful, blending gravitas with a mischievous sense of humor. He brought a weight and believability to the character that anchored the entire series. Peppard's distinctive voice, his piercing blue eyes, and his ability to convey Hannibal's genius with subtle expressions were pivotal. His death was a significant loss, but his legacy as the ultimate strategist and a compelling leading man lives on through every "I love it when a plan comes together" moment. John Ashley, narrator and original Colonel Decker in the pilot, though not a main cast member, John Ashley was the iconic voice of the A-Team in its opening narration, setting the stage for every episode. He passed away in 2000 at 64. His deep, authoritative voice is inextricably linked with the show's identity. He also played the initial Colonel Decker in the pilot before Lance Legault took over the role. Many guest stars and recurring actors also contributed significantly to the show's fabric and have since passed away, including Lance Legault, Colonel Roderick Decker Legault, who passed away in 2012 at 77, was the most persistent and memorable antagonist, playing Colonel Decker with a grim determination that perfectly balanced the A-Team's lightheartedness. His cat-and-mouse game with Hannibal was a highlight of many episodes. William Lucking, Colonel Lynch Lucking, who passed away in 2021 at 80, played Colonel Lynch, another early pursuer of the A-Team, bringing a similar relentless energy to the role. Robert Vaughn, General Hunt Stockwell, the legendary Robert Vaughn, who joined the cast in the final season as General Stockwell, passed away in 2016 at 83. His presence brought a new dynamic, initially as an adversary who eventually enlisted the team's services on even more dangerous missions. The passing of these talented individuals reminds us of the ephemeral nature of life, but also the enduring power of their artistic contributions. They poured their talent and energy into creating characters and moments that resonated with millions, shaping the cultural landscape of the 1980s and beyond. Their performances are preserved for future generations to enjoy, allowing their legacies to continue to inspire and entertain. When we watch the A-Team today, we're not just watching a show. We are engaging with the work of dedicated actors who left an indelible mark on television history. The A-Team remains a beloved classic for a multitude of reasons. Its thrilling action, its unique brand of humor, its unwavering moral compass, and above all, its unforgettable characters. It was a show that offered escapism, excitement, and a comforting sense that justice, however unconventional, would always prevail. The camaraderie among Hannibal, Face, Murdoch, and B.A. was palpable, creating a bond that transcended the screen and resonated deeply with audiences. As we look back, the show isn't just a relic of the 1980s. It's a testament to the power of teamwork, ingenuity, and the pursuit of justice against overwhelming odds. It taught us that even when you're on the run, you can still fight for what's right. And it gave us characters that felt like friends, whose adventures we eagerly awaited each week. Now, as we bring this deep dive to a close, I want to hear from you, the dedicated fans and new viewers alike. Who is your favorite character from the A-Team TV series? What is it about them that is so appealing to you? Is it Hannibal's genius plans, Face's smooth charm, Murdoch's delightful madness, or B.A.'s unwavering strength and surprising heart? And as we remember the incredible talent behind these iconic roles, how do you feel about the actors who are no longer with us? What memories or impressions do they leave you with? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Don't miss out on any of my future videos by turning on that bell notification. Your engagement keeps the spirit of the A-Team alive.